21st of May, Sunday, 10 to 4 in the afternoon in Australia. Here's my latest video blog. It's been a very active weekend in regards to cryptocurrencies, and I've got a little list of things that I'm going to cover today. But the first big news is that Bitcoin finally got over that 2,000 US barrier, and I happened to be watching it late last night, and it was hovering around the 195, 1995 for a very long time, and I thought, I've got to get a screenshot of this when it hits, but I couldn't stay up all night, and then woke up this morning, and it's sitting currently at around 2,079 US dollars. Which so what does that mean in regards to Bitcoin? I think it's a big milestone, that is for sure. It's one of those resistance points that will get a lot of people talking. I think a little bit more interest into Bitcoin. I think we're going to see just this continuous flow of new money from especially mainstream, and a lot of corporates and things will be starting to free up some money to get in. The fear of missing out starts to kick in across the world, and I think over the next 2 years we're definitely going to see it surge. And anyone that's in cryptos, I think, already knows that. What happens after 2 to 3 years when the industry sorts itself out and the tech gets a little bit better, and we've got other coins coming up, I'm not too sure what will happen. However, in the meantime, it's all full throttle in regards to all these cryptocurrencies. And I think everyone's reality with this, if you're in, is different, because everyone's got different portfolios, different amounts of money invested. They got in at different times. I'm very grateful that I got in very early, so I've seen some exponential returns. In some ways it's actually mind-blowing what's coming in, but and what's yet to come. So it's not too late. There are still a few little windows, and I've just been having a big think about that, and what opportunities are there still out there, especially when you've got maybe a little bit of extra capital coming in from your returns. And I always talk about trying to get your digital numbers off the screen and realise profits in some way, and whether that's taking currency or fiat currency and utilising it for something physical like gold or silver, because there's no doubt that Bitcoin's racing past gold and silver, and meanwhile gold and silver is still pretty low. And I think that's part of this whole trap, is that we've got to remember that I do believe that gold and silver is real money. It is being pushed down, and it has been suppressed for a very long time and manipulated, and I think we all sort of know that in a lot of ways. If you're not totally up to speed with gold and silver, that's just the reality of it. It does get manipulated, but it can't happen forever, and I do believe that if you look at gold and silver over an extended period of time, it's a pretty good long-term hedge and investment. So one of my strategies will be in the next, just keep stacking my gold and silver and taking a little bit of profit here and there off my cryptos, and redistributing some of my cryptos into other areas, just to maximise my diversity. You don't want to go and put your eggs all in one basket, but not everyone has that luxury, and I understand and I respect that. But it's just food for thought. So yeah, I've just got making sure that you realise profit. It's very, very important. The other thing I was thinking about last night was I'm a big believer in energy of economics. It's a term that I think was spoken about with the Rothschilds about 300 years ago, 1776 or something like that, and they talk about energy of economics. And it's a living, breathing energy. And I think when you look at these cryptocurrencies, and with modern technology, we've got screens, and we've got lots of moving graphs, and I've even got this, let me just bring it up. I won't bring up too much of my information, but I've got this little app here. It's called Blockfolio. It's quite handy if you're into cryptocurrencies, and you can click on, let's click on a, so I've got Ethereum here, for example. It's got a little graph, shows all the prices and the market cap, so you can see all of these movements in real time, and I think that's pretty cool. And then you can start to see, because what's been happening on the weekends is just massive. Well, it's not just on the weekends, it's just been for the last 3 months, massive amounts of cash flow coming into each of these coins, and they're injecting in, and they pump up, and then they have a little bit of a release lots of pumps and dumps. Some of them have just been really solid and surging, and I'm going to run through my top 5 cryptos very shortly for the reality that I'm in anyway, because obviously my portfolio may look a little bit different to someone else's. However, energy of economics, living and breathing, and yeah, if you're interested in getting Blockfolio, then I recommend it. It's free off the App Store. Have a look at that. Now I'm going to pronounce a particular coin. Now I haven't actually invested in this one until today, and that's Dogecoin, Dogecoin, Dogecoin. I'm sure I'll be corrected. It's all one of those three anyway. Dogecoin, I'll call it. I think when it first came in, it was a little bit of a joke. There's lots of coins available on the market, but the market cap just keeps going. And I think in the last 24 hours, you'll see that it has gone from a penny dazzler up to a little bit higher up onto the ladder, and there's quite a lot of money flowing into it. So it's something for people maybe to consider. I don't know if it's a long-term win, because I don't know, to be honest, I don't know too much about what their development team is doing. However, I did decide to just reallocate and realise some of my other profits into some of these other coins, because what I've decided to do, and I just did this out of interest, and I went to my Bittrex account last night, and I wanted to have a look at certain coins that are being neglected or something that I hadn't seen before, and I wanted to do a little bit of research. So what I did was I went to Bitcoin markets, and then I just clicked on the last price. So what I wanted to do was go right down to the bottom, and what I found was 2 coins. This is on Bittrex, so I can't speak for other exchanges, and I haven't done research into all the coins available. But on Bittrex, for example, I had Redcoin and Verge. Now they've just been sitting there. Let me bring up a chart here on CoinGecko. So I've got Verge and Redcoin. Now they've been doing nothing for a very, very long time, for about 2 or 3 years. So they've been around, and I did go and have a quick squiz in the forums and things. There's a little bit of chat, and they talk about development, and I thought, oh, all right. And what I noticed on the 15th, 16th, 17th of May, there's been this little pump, little bit of a blip and a little bit of movement, and I believe that the reality of this industry is that a lot of these coins are going to have new money injected into them. So I think there's going to be, regardless of their future, a certain element of gain and profit to be made from some of these penny dazzlers. So if anyone follows Warren Buffett, he's a big believer in buying lots of a stock, loading up on it and then holding. So what I've done is I've just taken a little bit of cream off a couple of my wins and put it into Redcoin. I bought Redcoin the other day for, I think it was about 0.0005 of a Bitcoin, and then it had a little bit of a dip, so I just bought a little bit more to improve my average there, and I bought some Verge. Now, I'm not giving you investment advice of any sort, but I'm just letting you know what I did, and what I decided to do was just invest in a couple of these penny dazzlers, including Dogecoin, and have just realised a little bit of, I suppose, diversity in my portfolio. So that's all I wanted to share with you in regards to that. Like anything, you've got to go and research these things. Don't spend money that you don't have. If you've got sometimes you've got to take a risk in life, because they do pay off. You've got to have a bit of courage, and at worst, if you lose a couple of $100, taking a risk. And if it doesn't affect your family, then maybe that's worth doing. I'm not into saying that gambling's good, but sometimes, like I said, taking a risk can pay off. I can tell you what, an educated risk is even better. So if you go and research, go and have a look at the websites, go and have a look at the forums, go and have a look at what they're doing. Will they still be around in 2-3 years? I can't say that. I think the landscape's evolving, and like I said in previous emails, I do believe that any coin that's got a niche and has a foundation, and I think can focus on a certain sector of the industry, is going to do a lot better than just being a currency, unless you're one of the big boys that has all the banks, etc., and all the financial institutions involved, something like a Ripple and an Ethereum and Ethereum involved. So next thing I wanted to do, without taking up too much of your time, because I like to keep these short and precise and just get out how I'm feeling about things. Top 5 of my cryptos at the moment in my eyes, like I said, everyone's got a different perspective and has a different reality in regards to what they've researched and what their portfolio reflects. But my top 5 are all based around graphene, which is a tech that's very, very fast, very, very secure, and can handle a lot of transactions. So if you don't know much about that, make sure you check out BitShares, Steam, Golos, which is taking off, which is the brother of Steam. If you're in Steam, I would be looking at Golos. It's still around about 11 cents Australian, I think. It's gone up from, say, 3 or 4 very, very quickly. And I'm actually on both platforms, steam.com and golos.io, which is a Russian blogging website. I'm on there. The other one is Peer Plays, which is coming out, and there's another one called EOS. They haven't actually hit the market, but they're graphene based. So what have I got? I've got BitShares, Steam, Golos. Peer Plays hasn't started yet, but then I've got Digibyte, which I think's just exploding at the moment. And if you go and read up what they're doing and look at their niche markets, I think you'll find that it's definitely worth considering. Again, not investment advice, just sharing you my excitement for some of these cryptocurrencies, which I just see doing very, very well. And that reality is they are doing very, very well. Anyone that's bought them, as a minnow has realised some really good returns. So, and we've only just started. This whole sector is going to go ballistic in the next 2 years. Get in, stack, hold. You're going to do very, very well as long as you're patient. So the other one was Dogecoin. I did do a little blog on it. I sort of questioned it a little bit in regards to the depth of their ability to connect with the medicinal marijuana industry and how that was actually going to translate into market share. I wasn't too sure, but it has had a big surge overnight. Again, could be just interest, could be new money, could be some people just diversifying their portfolios, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think there's going to be quite a lot of profit to be made on some of these little minnows. And Dogecoin's sitting at 1.5 cents. It's had a bit of a correction overnight in the last 12 hours, but it was surging there. It's gone up about 300% in the last 3 days. But another speculator, okay? So go and do your research. The Bitcoins and Ethereum, those ones I think are going to do very well. We know that Bitcoin's going to keep going. BitShares is still climbing. It's at 13 cents. I'm very, very excited about that. And I'm pretty much excited about all of it. But that's all I wanted to share with you today. Bitcoin over 2,000 US, fantastic news. Make sure you realise a little bit of gold and silver. Have a look at Blockfolio. Have a look at some of these minnows, maybe a couple of penny dazzlers. You never know. You might get a couple 100,000 of them, and in 12 months' time, you might find you have $2,000 or $20,000, or you might even have a little bit more. So, research is king. Have a great day, and tune into my next video. Thanks, guys.